After months of allegations, a showdown in the Senate.
I'm Brad Banducci and I'm the CEO of Woolworths.
Thanks, Mr. Banducci.
After a quick defence of the supermarket's pricing structures, the drama begins, with questions from the Commission's chair about the company's measure of profitability.
Your return on equity is actually easy to calculate.
Senator, the measure we use is return
I'm not,
on
Mr.
investment.
Banducci. I have put it to you, I don't know, I've lost count, maybe a dozen times.
Senator, I've answered the question many times.
You have not answered the question, Mr.
We focus on
Banducci.
these. These are the
Honestly,
measures we focus on.
I'm not interested in your spin or your...
It was a technical argument. McKim wanted to know what the returns for shareholders were, but Banducci wanted to point out that lenders take a cut too. And then came the threats.
I also feel compelled to advise you that a person may be found, as I've said, to be in contempt of the Senate and subject to a penalty of up to 6 months imprisonment or a fine of not exceeding $5,000.
Eventually, an answer of sorts.
Senator, yes, I will take it on notice and we will come back and provide.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Banducci.
I thought it was very strange for a CEO not to understand what the return on equity was. You ought to know what your return on equity is, for heaven's sake.
You said it.
At least this time, Mr. Banducci didn't walk out.
Yeah, no, I think I'm done, guys.
You're walking out, really? No. Can we just talk to Brad for a
The
second?
outgoing Woolies boss also batted off allegations the retailer has bought up land to keep out its rivals, and he says the supermarket is doing everything it can to help fruit and vegetable suppliers.
Can we do more for the less sophisticated players? Absolutely. Are we doing it? Yes, but I'm sure there's still more we could do.
Next up, the supermarket's biggest rival.
Good afternoon, my name is Leah Weckert.
Mrs. Weckert was also asked about that controversial figure.
I am happy to share with you that our return on equity last year was 31%.
Instead, the focus here is on pricing.
In the last couple of years, we have seen an unprecedented amount of cost price increases come through.
This inquiry is just one of many investigations that are currently putting pressure on the big supermarkets as grocery prices get political and Australians continue to battle cost of living pressures.
We hear from Coles and Woolworths that their margins are of the order of 2.6%. That's not an outrageous price gouging margin, but let's wait and see what that produces.
Clearly, it still all matters to shoppers.
For all these bags, we paid around $400, and this is gonna last us for 1 week and a half. Compared to my income, it's like not matching. I have to work more to get groceries only.
Graham Samuels isn't convinced the Senate inquiry will get answers or action. The former ACCC boss is more interested in the thoughts of Craig Emerson, who also popped up at the inquiry to discuss his work for the Treasury on the Grocery Code of Conduct and penalties for anti-competitive behaviour.
These very big penalties, I think, would be a very effective deterrent to people, to the major supermarkets.
The two big supermarket bosses have until near the end of April to respond to those prickly questions they couldn't answer on the day.